Alright guys, today we're going to talk about domain and range. So when you are thinking of domain and range, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of range is out on the range, home on the range. What does that remind you guys of? Cowboys, right? So are cowboys usually boys or girls? They're boys. So I'm going to put a Y up here. I'm going to put boys as well. The reason I put a Y is you think about the chromosomes, X, Y, they have a Y in it. Now if we're thinking about taking care of the domain, what does domain kind of remind you of? Like your home area, right? Like your home. So if you think about who takes care of your home, most likely, who would do that in your family? Between your mom and dad, who would probably do that? Most likely it'd be your mom, right? So I'm going to put an X up here, because an X, and if this is girls, then we have an girls have an XX chromosome, when boys have an XY. Okay, so we got that all figured out. The next thing to think about is looking at a graph as if it's kind of like a picture. So say you took a picture of something really cool, you're walking outside at the park and you saw a really cool flower, you took a picture of it, and then you realize one of your friends photobombing you on the outside over here and don't want to show that. So if you're looking at this, if you look at this right here, how would you crop this line segment right here? Would you, because you want to show all of the information you want to, right? You want to show everything that we have here. So if we're going to crop this, where would it be? Would you pick these two sides right here? No, I think we'd want to pick our two sides that have our lines in there, right? So we could kind of crop it like this. So I am going to crop our left side first. And of course, I'm going to warn you guys, I don't draw perfectly. Hopefully you do, but I don't as well. So I'm going to draw my left side. I'm going to go from where my value is all the way up to where I can box in or crop this image. Okay, and then now I'm going to go on this right side. I'm going to do the same thing. And while we're drawing these lines, it's not a perfect line right there. Did not do a very good job of drawing that. What did we run through right there? Did we run through which axis right here? Let me actually mark those so you can see that. Which axis did both of these lines run through? The x-axis, right? So if we're looking at the x-axis, what would that tell us right here? X tells us it's domain, right? So I'm going to put domain, and then we called that one the girl, so I'm going to label this color pink. And this one runs through the x as well, so I'm going to label this one as domain and pink. So you can color pink in there. I just don't have any colored markers on me. Now, if we're going to go over here and box the top and the bottom in, let's see. I'm going to pull all the way over here. Goes across 6. And then I'm going to do my best over here. There we go. So this part isn't needed in the crop right there, so I'm going to cut that out. So which did these two run through? These top and bottom lines, did they run through? The y-axis, right? They both ran through the y, and the y, remember we said, was the range. And it's also the boys. So usually when you're doing this, we could have like a color, but I think a boy color would be a good color, would be blue. So if you have a blue highlighter, you can get that out right now and mark this as blue, with the other one being pink. And now, as we're thinking about this, we want to tell the computer to crop it, we want to tell it exactly where and where. So if we're thinking of domain, we already found out that's the x value, right? Because we're taking care of our domain. Where's our lowest x value? I'll put our x up here so you get started. Right, the lowest one that touches on our box is going to be -4. Now if we're looking on the other side, what other part hits the x-axis? We've already finished this one. Yeah, this 4, right? Awesome, and then we always know that they're facing this way. And I'm not finished with it yet, but I want to go on to do the y values and get those knocked out. Do the range, right? So we have the y. Where's the lowest y value that we have? -4, right? So we have -4. And then what's our highest y value? Yeah, 6. So then we always have our arrows facing this way. Now when we're doing this, do you remember what an open circle and a closed circle means? The closed circle, that means that we can use that point. It's in there, it's stuck in there, we can use it. But if it's an open circle, it's saying, hey, everything but this exact point right here. So if we're looking at this, if we can be that point, then we can be equal to it. So over here, we can see the -4, -4 right here. We can use this point. So we're looking at our x value. Our -4, we can use it, yeah, because it's a filled-in arrow, so we can do that. And our y, let's see, all the way down in the y, the -4, yeah, we can use that one as well. Now look it up here. Is this one an open circle or a closed circle? So since it's open, can we put a line under it? Can we equal it? No, because it's an open circle. We can't do that. So we look at that, and we can label this as our, I'm going to label it again just so it's easy to remember in our notes. Domain and range. Awesome, guys. I'm really excited to go walk around in your groups when you're practicing this. Good luck.